Namaste, angels. I'm here to do my full moon in Aquarius reading, and I'm kind of going to go straight to it because I'm a little behind my own self-imposed schedule. There was a couple of times this week where I just didn't want to use certain energy. Today's energy has been phenomenal, and unsurprisingly, not surprisingly, it was today is, not was, the feast day of the Transfiguration of Jesus. So the presence of Jesus, Moses, Elijah, who are all three considered at least prophets among the quote-unquote major prophets in all three major religions: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. So that just tells you like how very powerful it is for the three of them to have been together, believed to have been together, and what we can, from what we can still benefit today. Because I feel it. And I felt Michael with me when I was in the store, and I had a experience, which I posted on Facebook, interesting experience with that. So that said, that's why today's a good day. One of the days earlier this week, energy was really bad. There was a lot of death. I think it was Tuesday. There was a lot of death. I wasn't surprised about that either. I had seen not only pulled my card, Proper Burial for Freedom, Sacrifice to Osiris, but I had also pulled the same day the buffalo calf woman, white buffalo calf woman. And when I pull either of those, and certainly when I pull both, people die. So there was celebrity death. There was an actor/director who happened to also be Jessica Lange's boyfriend. He died of ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, something from which it's very sad that people continue to die from this, that there's no cure. And a friend of mine in my personal life, my private life, Facebook friend, but we know each other through mutual friends. We haven't met in person, but, friends for several years now, nonetheless. He lost his son in a shooting accident, a gun accident, 4-year-old boy. So I didn't want to do anybody's reading, not personal, not the collective, or cleanses either, on that day or with that energy surrounding any of us. So, and yesterday I turned up, hashtag turn up. There was an impromptu party from one of my oldest and dearest friends, like friends, cousins, friends that are like cousins, cousins that are like friends or that are friends. It was all of that. All of these women that were there, or that I went to see at least, had been bridesmaids, including the maid of honor in my wedding. So really, really people that are among the dearest of all to me. And I spent the last several hours, beginning yesterday, with them celebrating one of their birthdays. So that's the other reason why I'm late, but I'm here, guys. Okay, with that, I'm on www.almanac.com to talk to you about the full Sturgeon Moon. It rises. Get this. It rises on August 7th, which is 8/8, right? 8 for the month, 7 for the day, 1 for the year. 8/8 at 2:11, which is 11:11 p.m. in the afternoon. That's the official time of the full moon. Some Native American tribes call the August moon the Sturgeon Moon because they knew that the sturgeon of the Great Lakes and Lake Champlain were most readily caught during this full moon. They also called August moon the full green corn moon. I've heard of the full grain moon as well. Different tribes had different moon name preferences. Other examples for August are the wheat cut moon, which is similar, I guess, to grain. And this is apparently mostly done in San Juan, or that name is used mostly in San Juan, according to this. And there's also something called moon when all things ripen, all things, which is interesting to me because during this period of these 2 weeks, there's a lot of other things that will be ripening. I agree. I've mentioned a few times basically it's a soulmate day, that has been celebrated since the time of King Solomon, which I'm going to talk about more in the weekly general reading. But that's one of the things, relationships ripening. This moon, when all things ripen, name is most common to the Dakota Sioux, and it's also called the blueberry moon by the Ojibwe. They have a full Sturgeon Moon video here if anybody wants to read that. And best days in August 2017. Below are the best days for activities based on the moon's sign and phase in August. Anybody that has to cut hay, the 11th and 12th, setting eggs, the 5th through the 7th, and the 15th and 16th. And for fishing, the 1st through the 7th, and then again the 21st through the 31st. Moon folklore, closed wash for the first time in the full moon will not last long. If you glimpse the new moon over your right shoulder, you will have good luck. To have a project prosper, start it during the new moon. And babies born a day after the full moon enjoy success and endurance. To all who that may apply. So if you've been listening to my readings in general, following me at all on YouTube, on Facebook certainly, then you know I've named numerous things that are going on this month. It's not just this full moon. So as if this isn't enough activity. Not only is it a full moon, but it's a lunar eclipse as well. And it begins like the double eclipse portal, so to speak. It opens it because we have another eclipse, the full solar eclipse at the end of the month on the 21st. Lunar eclipses mean endings, as do full moons. So there's a lot of endings that should come with this full moon. And solar eclipses mean new beginnings, but endings always give way to new beginnings. Just think about how much more magnified it is right now, how much more intense with this, again, sort of eclipse portal having opened. So to go deeper into that, because I found something, like I like to try to do, I found something along the lines of my own thinking at astrology.com. In their beneficial thought. They have one called Let It Go during the lunar eclipse in Aquarius. We're heading into a period of change. If you've been thinking of big change in your life, astrology is offering you all of the energy to do just that. Maybe you've been thinking of a change, but you haven't quite had the courage to pursue it. If that's the case, and the change is close, there's a very good chance that the universe is going to create it for you, like the energy of the world, or how I read the world card, where I say like it's the universe easing us out of a situation and into another. That's what this is talking about. However it happens, the energy is yours for the taking. If you've been looking for the right time to put something to bed or behind you for good, the time is just around the corner. That time is the lunar eclipse in Aquarius. Every time a lunar eclipse occurs, it occurs with a full moon. Full moons are always about bringing projects or matters to completion. We aren't going to just get the idea of the full moon event today, as the topic of the lunar eclipse is enough to sort through. The full moon event is happening in Aquarius, and that's where we look today. We're going to focus on the lunar eclipse aspect of this first, though, and get to the full moon discussion in a few days. So we'll have to follow up with this. Anybody that wants to follow, again, this is from astrologyanswers.com. A lunar eclipse event is a time where the trajectory in your life could be completely redirected. That sounds scarier than it actually is. Whenever a big change like this happens, it always happens for a higher purpose. Let's have a look on how to honor your inner Elsa from Frozen and just let it go. What is a lunar eclipse? A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun and moon are opposite each other and the earth passes through that space, creating a shadow on the moon. This can only happen during a full moon event. So what happens is the earth kind of eclipses a section of the moon out of our view. Instead of looking like a full moon, the moon has a bit of an orange and red tone to it. It may just look like the drawing of an unfilled circle in the sky. The moon, from an astrology perspective, is a source of information and emotions. When it is somewhat eclipsed from view, that means the information and emotions you need to close something up in your life are also eclipsed from the picture. The actual lunar eclipse period is one of a hurry up and wait kind of feeling, because you don't have all of the information you need at the time to make big life decisions. During the lunar eclipse, events and universe happenings are in the works to help you to get that information. That's why you're advised not to make big decisions during a lunar eclipse, because the information is not all at hand. It's in the works. Now, the interesting part here is one of the other many things that's going on is Mercury retrograde officially begin. Mercury's already in that shadow period approaching its retrograde, and it's official on the 12th, which falls within this 2-week period of the full moon and lunar eclipse energy. So if you are not to make a big decision because of the lunar eclipse, you're not to make a big decision because of Mercury retrograde. A lot of us will be sort of in limbo, it sounds. 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse in August, we will have a solar eclipse. This is when the moon gets in the way and moves between the sun and the earth. In this event, the sun is eclipsed from view, hence the term solar eclipse. In that event, issues and events pertaining to how we're perceived by the world will also be eclipsed from view, but just temporarily, as with a lunar eclipse. The significance of the lunar eclipse. The spiritual purpose of both a lunar or solar eclipse lies in its potential for spiritual growth. It is very likely this year that the solar eclipse will be bigger in your life than the lunar eclipse. This is almost always the case. Some people won't even feel or experience anything from the lunar eclipse. If you want to change, just knowing the opportunity is there can be very beneficial. With the lunar eclipse, the spiritual significance is tied to the full moon. Full moons are about closing chapters, tying up loose ends, bringing matters to fulfillment, finishing things up, putting things to bed. The information that follows a lunar eclipse is always about just those very things as well. It will help you to put things to bed. Matters related to a lunar eclipse are very often connected to your past. Something may be brought to your awareness that you need to let go of or put to bed for good. It's a wonderful opportunity to hit the reset button, which is one of how I refer to the divine light cleanse as well. I call it hitting the reset button, like on your life, on your soul. And I had also mentioned and posted that this month, because of all these things, I think is a particularly awesome time to do it. Anybody that is interested in that. Anyway, this is right now is a great time to start something in your life on a fresh page. That's why it's important to look at this period as a time to start fresh. The reminder of the lunar eclipse is that one can only do that after one has, quote unquote, let it go. So hit the reset button. The lunar eclipse in Aquarius is important because Aquarius is an air sign and a big thinker in the zodiac. Aquarius is also a little unconventional, quirky even, and a freedom lover. These are the themes that you're going to experience in your life under this year's lunar eclipse in Aquarius. You also have the opportunity to examine the effects and information from this eclipse from an objective, rational, and logical level. In fact, you're encouraged to examine the effects of this eclipse from a logical level. You'll be more successful when you do. This lunar eclipse in Aquarius is expected to impact relationships of all kinds. It is, after all, dealing with the relationship between the sun and the moon. So under this time frame, look at your own relationships. Be true to your needs in each and every one of them, and you will know where you need more harmony in your life. You will also know where you don't have it. This is the letting go part. With the moon eclipsed, you have an opportunity for some of those emotions eclipsed out for a temporary period as well. It will be easier for you to logically and objectively examine the situation. This is a powerful information receiving time for you. Like the old days when you used to film in cameras, the full picture will take some time to develop and to become crystal clear for you. This month's lunar eclipse will occur on August 7th, and combined with the August 21st solar eclipse will create energy in our life that will last until January 2018. I think the big culmination, I mean, I agree with this statement, but I think the big culmination is November. And that is because in October, well, in part, this is because in October, Lilith, and Black Moon Lilith, by which will be affected during all this full moon stuff and new moon stuff and these eclipses, moves out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. That's one thing. Also in October begins Jupiter in Scorpio. Thank you, God. So a much lighter time, and a time of good karma for those who've earned it and worked toward that, quote unquote, luck. And there was another really, really big one. I can't think right now, but there's a lot of stuff going on October, November. So I think like the culmination of all these things coming together, or the when we'll feel it the most, when we can benefit from it the most, rather, November 2017. But I would agree again that this energy overall will be with us through until January 2018. This is big life stuff we're talking about here. Stay objective, stay true to your intentions, and think of your best possible success. When you do, the lunar eclipse will reveal all that you need to get there. Concluding thoughts. Many people fear the lunar eclipse, but what they're really fearing is the change. Just remember, if you're complaining or unhappy about any area of your life at all, then you're ready for a change. Use this lunar eclipse to let go of what is no longer serving you and prepare to embrace what will. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Where are you going to, quote unquote, let it go during this powerful lunar eclipse? That is soon upon us. So that's the question. That's what we need to think about, I guess, until tomorrow. And a little bit about the Transfiguration, which I will talk about more in depth probably during the weekly general reading. This is from Wikipedia. The Transfiguration of Jesus is an event reported in the New Testament when Jesus is transfigured and becomes radiant in glory upon a mountain. And this can be found in the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew 17, 1 through 8. Interesting, because that's 8-8, just like what I was just talking about with the moon. And 8-8, also a significant day, as part of the Lion's Gate, which opened on July 26th, which I didn't mention a moment ago. Opened on July 26th, closes on 8/12, but the height of it, I guess, would be on 8/8, which itself equals 8, because it's 881. I've seen misinformation around that it's 888. That's not true. 888 was in 2015. Anyway, also Mark 9:2 through 8 and Luke 9:28 through 36. They describe it and the second epistle of Peter, and also refers to it in Peter 2, 1:16 through 18. It has also been hypothesized that the first chapter of the Gospel of John alludes to it, John 1:14. In these accounts, Jesus and 3 of his apostles, Peter, James, and John. Last week I said James, John, and I'm like, I couldn't remember the third. I don't know why I couldn't think of Peter. I said maybe it was Andrew. Obviously, it was not Andrew. It's Peter. They go to a mountain, the Mount of Transfiguration, to pray. On the mountain, Jesus begins to shine with bright rays of light. Then the prophets, Moses and Elijah, appear next to him, and he speaks with them. Jesus is then called Son by a voice in the sky, assumed to be God the Father, as in the baptism of Jesus. Many Christian traditions, including Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholic, and Anglican churches, commemorate the event in the Feast of the Transfiguration, a major festival. And with that, dice. I'm starting with, it's 50-50, dirty movie, and eat cake. Spirit says romantic dinner No. So anybody who had formulated a no, yes or no question in their mind at that moment, the answer is no. And 29, which is all about spiritual partnership, romantic and otherwise. Could be business too. And now I'm going to go to my Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, beginning with card number 44. And I've seen a lot of fours recently. Some of you guys may have too. Fours represent the archangels for one thing, and foundations for another, stability. This one is woman holding a heart. It could be an indication of a woman that's on her way into your life, as either as a romantic interest or a friend. This woman can also be yourself, showing what kind of place you're in right now, how you are feeling good and about love. You're receptive to love right now. It could be a indication that you've had things going on in your family, and they're soon to be resolved, different family issues. This is about intuition and understanding what we're receiving by way of messages, and understanding our own emotions, and using all of that awareness as guidance overall in our own lives. This can be like another female in your life, a friend, a teacher, a family member, somebody who shows up or who is around you and helps you with issues with love, family, and or emotion. All right, that's woman holding a heart. And opening to indecision in reverse in our first 8. Well, in our second 8, I just said I was starting with 4-4. That's an 8 too. So 8, an overlying theme as well. Indecision in reverse indicates that one has come to a decision, which is a good thing. 44. And opening to 38 or 11, 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, upright. This card also about being receptive and open to love, and being able to allow it to pass both ways freely. And this goes perfectly with woman holding a heart upright, showing that maybe not just the feminine and or females who will watch this reading, but anyone in a good place overall with regard to receptivity to love. And opposite. All right. How beautiful is that? Woman holding a heart. Strategy in reverse. So we don't have a plan, but that seems to fit with what I just read about the lunar eclipse period. And woman holding a coin upright. This similarly to woman holding a heart upright can be someone in your life that helps you, like a bookkeeper, right? Helps you to maybe financial, what's the word I'm looking for? Counseling. That wasn't the word, but like that kind of financial counseling or support, advice. This can be like a banker, a bookkeeper, or a friend that sort of guides you, a confidant you talk to about making plans and for your life and stuff like that. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now for her. But I think it's pretty awesome for a woman holding a coin to be opposite woman holding a heart, both upright. Because when that woman holding a coin is in reverse, it's nasty. It's like a woman trying to drag you around by her purse strings and manipulate you. And she doesn't mean well at all. When she's upright, she's a good person. Some of us may still have some attachments, and maybe some of the things that we're trying to figure out, decide for ourselves. With regard to change, we just talked a lot about change and making decisions with regard to change. That's what 5s represent, clearing of energy, change. I'm going to use my butterfly cards, as a matter of fact, to talk about change. And I had noticed when I meant to mention it, but I think I was talking about something and I was trying to finish my sentence and I meant to come back to it. When I was looking at Woman Holding a Coin, she had a butterfly on her hair. I don't know where she ended up, but she had a butterfly on her hair, and that reminded me of the change as well. So if she comes back up, I'll point it out. Overall energy is blossoming abundance. Number 3. This card is about the fact that soon we will be like, this is like a garden here, or, you know, some sort of outdoors area. There's flowers and things. Soon we'll be like reaping what we've sown, which makes a lot of sense, because actually when I use the Angel Tarot, I'm beginning with the 7 of Earth. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, and unnecessary worry. This is very similar. It also is about the fact that the universe is wanting to and or about to like bestow tremendous abundance in all forms and maybe unexpected ways, like, you know, I don't know, win the lottery. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Unexpected. Scratch off ticket. Boom, $10,000 so you can get a new car or whatever it is. You know, that hadn't been in your plan. It's nothing necessarily that you work towards, but here it is all of a sudden, abundance for you. Could be abundance of love too. But it certainly includes the abundance for which we've worked, that we've put effort. And again, that includes love, our relationships, and money, finances, material things. Now I'm going to do my cross. And the feelings, sentiments of the divine masculine by the, as told to me from the masculine's like collective higher self. Beginning with one card dedicated to the feminine and how she is feeling and perceiving herself at the moment. Envy. This is a card that's very much about what it looks like. Be aware of like 5 of Wands kind of energy. This can be people, this can be frenemies, unfortunately, yet again. People that we think are close friends, even family members. And when I say family members, I include exes too. So that can be something as well. There can be an ex that's jealous of the fact that you're moving on. Maybe now all of a sudden they're trying to show you interest when you were interested, when you were trying to get things to work out with them, and you kept throwing yourself at their mercy. They rejected you. But now, because you found something better, because the universe, as I just read, always moves us into, a better circumstance. It's something that's better for that goes toward our higher purpose, even if it's not visibly better to us in a moment. Always goes toward our higher purpose. So it moved you into a better situation. Now they're interested. It can be something like that. It's like you're trying to move forward, but there are old patterns. There are old ideologies and belief systems, maybe attachment to fear that is also keeping you from moving forward. And how that ties into envy is because I'm trying to explain where that was coming from in my head. How it's tying into envy, I think in part because I had seen the attachment card before and this on the heels of it, but also like you wanting to move and people not physically move, get unstuck, move into a better place, cease to be held back by these ideologies and things, and people seeing you making progress and being jealous of the fact that they remain stuck and don't even have the motivation or an inclination as to how they can help themselves. So rather than to make an attempt, they'd rather be mad at you and try to salt you, as I don't know, people I know say, they say in some circles, like put something on you, throw negativity your way, in hopes that will hold you back too. And then nobody will be doing anything. You know, misery loves company, basically, I guess is what I was trying to get to. What else? This can also be about like not counting your blessings, like not seeing what we already have, and us being envious or coveting other people's things, or, you know, other people's success and stuff like that, which can get in the way of our own overall blossoming abundance. And that can come from a lack of patience, because we don't see ours materializing, manifesting, you know, it's going on behind the scenes. Then we start to look at what other people have as well. Okay. I spent a lot of time on that one. I apologize. What the masculine sees, and just like the time of the full moon, that 211, which I said equals 1111, this does as well. It's 2 2s. Each one also equals an 11. 2s are about partnership, duality, faith. So to get back to this, although I spent a lot of time, like I was just talking about coveting things, instead of having faith that your own is coming, you can fall into a trap of jealousy, of envy. This is the masculine seeing the feminine as, in part, herself, the journey. You know, she's like his way forward. She's his guidance forward. Maybe he was stuck until, you know, he was awakened to her existence and what that meant for his own life. And in his own life, all of a sudden, I have a path, I have a direction. I want to go places, you know, metaphorically. Masculine about himself. Rest and rejuvenation in reverse. He needs some sleep. Last time I picked up the 4 cards and then I came back. That's probably the easier way to do it. And I apologize that I did it this way. But this one is pretty straightforward. The rest and rejuvenation in reverse is the need to chill out and take a break. I love how the 19 is here representing the masculine, because those of you who watch me with any sort of regularity or anything know that for me, 19 represents the father. You know, so it does represent the divine masculine of like all time. The masculine's feelings are about the union as a whole during this period. Victory in reverse. So like victory in the mile, as they say. He can see it ahead, but we're not there. And maybe he feels that maybe it's because he's tired. You know, like you're running a race, but you've got no more energy. So you just stop, but you could see the finish line there, but you just feel like you have nothing left in you to give. That's something that's coming through now too. Overall, door to spirit, upright. Like seeing door to spirit upright. Door to spirit, really a card. I put it down for a second because I wanted to pick this up again. This... with this, actually, this being the overall energy, this blossoming abundance, door to spirit is like the door to abundance, basically. It's heightened intuition. It's increased gifts of all kinds. It's ascension, you know, up, up, up. I'm all the way up. We just continue to elevate in all areas of our life. We continue to get better, 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 better. So again, this takes us back to love. This takes us back to money, the material, all our needs being met as we approach this change with another 5. The outcome. The world in reverse. Now, this world is, in fact, supposed to be the one, like the world, or red, like the world, you know, is at your feet. The world is our oyster. The world is huge and we can have anything, you know, that we want. Like our minds can't even conceive all the possibilities that are out there in the world. The world is also about, in this deck, communication, networking, like keeping our worlds, our personal world too small and not realizing how vast it is, and that we should be, I don't know, we could be connecting online with people, maybe we should be sending each other messages, emails, chatting, enjoying, groups things from which we can benefit, not just spending time, on social media or something necessarily, although I'm not knocking that either. But it's to, we should benefit. We should connect with people, like minds, and people of our vibration, or higher, from whom we can learn something. It means that you're just really being closed-minded and limiting your own view and thereby blocking your own blessings. It's narrow-mindedness in reverse, basically, this card. And I think it's also having something to do with the full moon in Aquarius, because networking, particularly electronically, is very, very much Aquarian. That's Aquarian energy. So I think this full moon in Aquarius and this card right now for this reading comes to say, during this period of letting go of stuff, let go of your own self-imposed limitations on what you can have. Let go of the blocks that you're holding up in front of you, keeping away, prohibiting yourself from achieving your own goals and receiving blessings that are meant for you. Let go of narrow-mindedness and small thinking. It's like we've painted ourselves into a box or corner with our limited capacity for thought. And maybe with fear and ego too. We've allowed that to trap us. This calls for us to let go of all that stuff. What would the masculine have the feminine do or surrender toward the union during this period as it relates to the moon? Wow. Wow. I was just talking about the need for us to change our community in some cases. Change with whom or what or where maybe we surround ourselves. We should be around things that support people, places, and things that support our vibration. And certainly people, connecting with people who are of our vibration or higher, from whom we can learn something, where there can be exchange, like the Six of Earth, give and take, love passing both ways, not just romantic, in general, all our relationships. So very much connected, these two cards here. And what is the masculine willing to do and or surrender toward the union over this period? Wow, I think this card was in the same exact position, if not the last moon reading, the one before that. And he needed to get up away from some woman that was trying to control him by his money or her money, or manipulate him using money, using material things, instilling fear in him. Maybe some of these women that are trying to trap these Jews with the babies, or maybe some, they already have kids, it is theirs, they already have kids, they already have a relationship with this person, it's their child's mother or something, and they're trying to, use the child and or their situation in order to manipulate him in a financial way, and he's being closed-minded, not being open to all of the rights that he has as a human being and as a, citizen of this, wherever country in which he lives, because people watch me from all over the world. But fathers have rights too. And maybe he's not looking at that. This can also be somebody's own mother or father, their own parent, pulling them around by the purse strings. I'm going to write you out of the will. I'm not going to leave you my XYZ. I'm not going to help you to fund your whatever you need if you continue to see this person, or if you continue to do that. This is all that kind of stuff, woman holding a coin, and possibly very well female and or a feminine energy. What would the universe have us to both to do and or surrender toward the union over this period? Door to value in reverse. This I got to think about for a second and look and take a glance at these other cards too. My thing is, I think because of what I just said with this card, I'm pretty clear on what it means for the masculine. All right, let's do it this way. Never mind. I'm sorry. All right, so door to value, this is the way it looks when it's upright. When it's in reverse, it can really be about a door closing, an opportunity to a financial situation. So maybe a job, but maybe a relationship that involves some sort of money situation. It's this door to value or to money or to the material is either partially closing or closing all the way. Now, it makes sense that it's closing all the way because this is a full moon, and not only a full moon, but a lunar eclipse. And we just talked about the need for completion on these things. We got to shut the door completely. For the divine masculine, these two cards can very much go together. What the universe wants him to do, get this person out of your life. Cut the cord of attachment to this person. Stop limiting your thinking with regard to your own finances and your own, letting your own fear take over and limit you and have you coveting other people and thinking only somebody else can have and can be blessed and you can't because you're blocking it yourself. Change your community, including and specifically this woman. Change your community and with whom you surround yourself, because blossoming abundance awaits you, but not if you've blocked your own blessings. You have to be willing to open up that path. And that also goes with this. The masculine is out of sorts. He's rest and rejuvenation upright. He probably can't even think straight if he hasn't been sleeping well. He needs to do some meditation, like peaceful thought. Some relaxation that can also come into play with community and with whom he's surrounding himself. He needs to be around people who actually love him. And this is why he sees the victory out there, but, not necessarily attainable, because he's feeling trapped by this situation. And he's not. So that's what the universe would have the masculine to do with regard to door to value. For the feminine, it can be a lot simpler. I would dare to say that it probably is, with the exception of this envy. In some cases, yes, we're blocking our own blessings, and that is why the door is shut. The door is shut or shutting because we have shut it on ourselves with envy. In other cases, it's closing because it's not for us. So some of us may have recently lost a job or may do so during this period and say like, now what do I do? My whole life is changing. I just lost my job. I've had this job for whatever it is, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Now what do I do? That door is shutting for a better one because the world is your oyster. And the world, the way I read the traditional world card in the traditional tarot, the universe is coming through to ease you out of a situation that's no longer for you and into a new one. It's about your foundations. 3 + 1 = 4. Okay, a change to your foundations and your stability. Toward your higher good and the higher good in general. Okay. Lately, I think like the past 3 or 4 moon readings, this part takes so much out of me. But now maybe the rest will make sense. I'm going to the Angel Tarot, beginning with the 7 of Earth. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. And staying in that theme of 7, it's the 7 of Fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Seven of Earth. Yep, this is about us focused too much so on money, on the material, and fear-based thoughts. That could be another thing that came with the masculine in reverse. Fear-based thoughts, envy, jealousy, ego-based thoughts, all of this coming with Major Arcana card 15, or ego, the devil in the traditional tarot. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. Opposite the Seven of Earth, I'd say for, most, it is connected to finances and or material. And opening to the star with Archangel Jophiel, which represents the sign of Aquarius. And yes, the need for us to, maybe it is with regard to planting seeds or reaping what we've sown. Maybe we need to send an email to find out what's going on with that, project or job or a situation, whatever was supposed to bring in some money. Maybe we can contact someone and find out. For others of us, it's just, yes, prayers answered, wishes granted. It's coming, but we've got to be patient. We've got to exercise some patience. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. Seven of Earth. Into the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration. Seeing the truth of a situation. A challenging beginning. The Ace of Air can also very well be an Aquarius. Or maybe it's Mercury. For Mercury retrograde that also falls within this period. Mercury, the ruler of fellow air sign Gemini. Or maybe it's representing Libra and fairness and balance that's being restored by the universe right now through all of these retrogrades and these eclipses and all of this stuff. That's a possibility as well. Ace of Air could be here. Off people, places, and things that no longer suit us. Adjust, with whom we're dealing in a more personal level. Cut off women or men who try to manipulate us. Ace of Air. I'm going to cut. And it's the King of Air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air is somebody who's pretty decisive because he looks at all he looks at the whole picture before he makes a decision. He looks at all sides and tries to be very fair and diplomatic. This also coming up, I think, because of what I just read, or in connection to what I just read, rather, where it was talking about viewing things in a logical way. If you're coming at it from the perspective of an air sign, that's what you're doing. So this is, I think, why the King of Air is here. King of Air, like the Ace, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. The overall energy is the Emperor and Archangel Michael. Kind of takes me full circle. I started out talking about fours and archangels and specifically Michael. Organization and logic, to get back to that. Structure and discipline, leadership. The masculine is the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire, like the Emperor, our overall energy is possibly an Aries, but can be a Leo, especially during this month of July. What the hell? Nope, it's August, but yes, Leo still. Leo until through the 22nd. I don't know where July came from. But yeah, it can be a Leo, maybe showing up because of not only Leo, the zodiac sign, but maybe the Lion's Gate. which occurs just a day after this full moon. The King of Fire, also, of course, the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. Surrounded by the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Aww, this reading has a couple in it. The divine couple in the masculine subconscious is the Queen of Fire. Confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful is the Queen of Fire. She is also perhaps an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or somebody taking on those attributes or traits. And the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. And Justice, which I was just talking about a moment ago. And another 8. Crowning the feminine, representing the sign of Libra or the air sign Aquarius, Gemini. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Surrounded by the World, being eased out of one situation, long, trying, difficult. Can be that job that some of us may lose during this period. Can be a relationship, even a friendship. It's time to walk away. We're completing it as is expected during this kind of time. Lunar eclipse, full moon, endings. But we're going to be moved into something that is better for us, that better supports our higher purpose and the higher purpose in general. It's going to be justice. It's going to be fair. It's going to be beneficial. It's going to be good. Even if we're afraid of change, it's going to be good. In the feminine subconscious, the 9 of Air. Yep, I knew we were afraid. This is us sitting up at night, biting our nails, unable to sleep because we're worried about changes that are happening in our lives. Or maybe because of the fact that we feel like we need change and we can't see anything happening and we're panicked. Crowning the Union. Life experience, the Tower with Archangel Chamuel. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. Crossing the World. Again, this can be an abrupt end to, now it's funny because the World is a karmic for me, karmic as in fated, destined of the universe energy, as is the Tower. But usually the World requires some patience because you're eased out of something and eased into something else. The Tower is boom. It just happens. So to have these two crossing one another, you may get, you know, a little bit of both. This may be something that you've been working on and the universe has been helping you with for some time. And then all of a sudden it comes to an abrupt end during this period. That's just it. And it may be a relationship, maybe specifically a marriage with Justice crowning the feminine can often represent legal matters and or, you know, marriage. But divorce would be a legal matter too. You could have been trying to fix this relationship, work on it. You break up, you get back together. You know, you're trying to hold it together, even though you know it's been over and you've overstayed your welcome and he's overstayed his welcome. And it's just not the divine masculine, but to whomever you're married or whatever you're married. Again, if you're married to a job or something, it's over, but you just kept trying to stick it out. That's when this abrupt energy comes and says, no, no more, and takes you out of that. At the root, boom, the Lovers. I knew the Lovers was going to show up here. I started to mention it. When I saw Justice, I said, Aquarius has been here. Libra's here now. Gemini is coming. Here it is. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. We have the Lovers crossing the world. Again, this can be divorce or end of a relationship, end of a friendship, somebody else from whom we're walking away, or something else, you know, something else that we gave it the old college try, as they say. It is not working. It has not worked. We can't even sleep. We can't even think straight because this has been so upon us and bothering us. So it's going to come to an end quite abruptly for some. And some of us will still continue to be eased out with the World. At the heart of the matter, The page of air also represents Gemini for me, but of course Gemini because of it's the page and it's the more youthful, the quote unquote immature, but it can certainly be an Aquarius, since this is all about Aquarius. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. There can be a truth bomb that gets dropped on somebody that ends a friendship, a relationship, a job, whatever, a situation, a circumstance. All of a sudden something comes out. We know that from that point, there is no going further. We can no longer overstay this welcome. It's done. And we got to go. That's what's going to happen with some. With others, the page of air is showing up here to represent the delay that there's been with coming out of some of this energy. Maybe your divorce was held up or your legal situation was held up. It was delayed. Now it's finally coming to an end. The next card is in reverse. I was going to check to see if I should use this deck to clarify anything. But because it's in reverse, I'm not going to. And I'm going to go on to the romance angels, beginning with free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Again, this relates very well. An example, that masculine situation that I was talking about, where I said some are being manipulated by, somebody who is pulling them by the purse strings or dragging them around by her purse strings, one or the other, and he needs to free himself. The feminine, certainly with this spread, needing to free herself from something and having difficulties, so the universe is going to step in and help. Opening to soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. This is why we're being made free, so that we can move on to better things. Again, free yourself. Stay optimistic about your love life while you do it. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Not 9 of air, not 4 of water, where you're not counting your blessings and you're focused on what's been lost and what's no more, as opposed to what is. Free yourself. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Free yourself. Whoop, something took a leap. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. How nice. But what I actually ended up opening to is it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So I spoke a lot about this earlier too in the other section. Love having to needing to be able to pass both ways, us needing to be receptive to it, the woman holding a heart indicating that we were receptive to it. We got to work on staying that way with positive thoughts. Engagement. I'm going to cut. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Interesting. The overall energy is children. Your love life is being affected by children. Maybe for some of us, there's some truth coming out about children. Again, the page can represent somebody that's younger, maybe a child, and involved in a legal situation. A tower. All of a sudden, some truth comes out about somebody's child, one way or another, that affects a situation. That can be for some too. Here, atop the King of Fire, masculine, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Atop the Four of Water. Yes, this is your soulmate. This one glorious cup that you got standing up here, that's your soulmate. These other exes and things, it didn't work out. And again, maybe something is a job, something is a relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, whatever it is. Your mother, your father, things didn't go the way you'd hoped. You've got this beautiful situation waiting for you that is your soulmate. Here atop the Queen of Fire, this is what's on your mind. This is what you want. Well, you're going to have to make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Which means, again, ending something to allow for a new beginning. Here atop Justice, attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So you're beginning your just due. And that's going to make you happy. And by being happy and being appreciative of what's coming to you, of the fact that you're getting your justice, you'll continue to receive more and more abundance. Here atop the world, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, because this is something of which we're going to have to let go. As we do that, we experience more love in our present moments. Here atop the 9 of Air, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your life right now. So some of the feminine, not only staying awake, but staying awake, worrying about money, also. And maybe that's why they need their justice. That can be connected to the justice. The first card I started with was ego, or the devil, worrying about money, so there that is. Here atop life experience, let go, or the Tower, let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. Yeah, the Tower, we're not going to be able to control. It's going to have to unfold naturally. That is completely of the universe. Whatever happens, it can't be stopped. When the Tower shows up, that's what it means. Here atop the Lovers, they want you to love, the romance angels do, but they want you to start with you. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And here atop the Page of Air, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. I'm going to go right into the butterfly cards as everything relates to change. And I'm beginning with Windfall, which awesome, because this reminds me or connects to our other overall energy before with that abundance and the woman holding a coin upright and the woman holding a heart upright, all these different forms of abundance. Now I'm starting with Windfall and opening to spiritual growth. Windfall. Retirement, letting go of something old to make way of something new. Old job, old relationship, old friends, old situation, old circumstance. It's done. Windfall. That's going to open the flow to the abundance. And then all of a sudden this. The stream, once it starts going, we can't stop it as long as we remain positive. And what's our motivation? Okay. For the masculine, it seems, again, to be, at least according to the cards, the divine feminine. Make the effort. So that's as it relates to love and anything else in your life that you want to happen, that you want to be part of this windfall of abundance. Realizations and epiphanies can come with the truth bomb of the Page of Air. All of a sudden we know something we didn't know before, and it changes everything. Like family changes, as I was just talking about, possibly learning the truth, some sort of truth about someone's child, and that changes everything. Family changes can also be potential divorce, right? That was our old family. Family changes can be here on the side of the masculine, leaving the 3 cups behind for the new one, for the soulmate. But our overall energy to do all this is courage. That's what's going to help us through. Maybe connected to Leo the lion and or the lion's gate. That may be from where the courage of a lion comes to us. For the masculine, here at top, it's safe for you to love. The reason it's safe for you to love, you're stronger than you know. You've got it in you to do what you need to do. This also tops the King of Fire. Here atop soulmate, seeking and finding. You looking for love? Okay, what we got to do is stop looking for it in all the wrong places. It's right here. Okay, seeking and finding. Here atop, make the effort, and the Queen of Fire in the masculine's subconscious and mind. Emotions. Here atop, attraction and justice. It's the end of an era. It's the end of that marriage. It's the end of that friendship. It's the end of that job. It's the end of that lack that you were feeling. All that's turning around. You're getting your just due. Here atop, forgiving and learning, and the world. Motivation. Your motivation is, you know, that you're being moved. Motivation is about movement. Like, what's directing me to do this? You're being moved by the universe. That's the motivation. Here atop, I love it. Here atop, finances and career, and this worry that we have about such, is windfall. So again, no need to worry. As a matter of fact, it's the worry that's preventing it from coming in. We let go of that, and then here comes the windfall. Crowning, atop, let go of control issues and allow stuff to happen naturally. Yeah, it's going to come to you. You don't have to try to force anything. It's going to come to you anyway. Realizations and epiphanies. Atop, love yourself first, and the Lovers, spiritual growth. Okay, you're becoming a bigger person, a more elevated person, when you learn to love yourself first. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Page of Air, and stay optimistic about your love life, is new career. So I've been talking a lot about job and stuff. For some of us, I do think that that's what's coming to an end, and that's what we're going to be getting new. And that would fit in with the other spreads of the reading as well, and like door to value closing, all that kind of stuff. But for some, this new career is your man or woman. Like I've mentioned in other readings, you know, sometimes I call mine my boss, you know, a new boss. We're trading in the old one on either side for this new one. Let's get some advice. I guess all those things also tie in the children. This is, you know, if we have children, or if we want to have children in the future, if that's part of our plan, of course, they would be affected by any such changes. And it's for us to have faith that, you know, the archangels, they're here, they support us, they help us, our children are protected, our children are safe. When I say they're going to be affected, that doesn't mean they're going to be broken, they're going to be damaged. This is for the higher good of all, for our individual higher good and the higher good in general, these changes. From the energy oracle to the masculine, contract, 6 upright, and also justice for you coming. Some of you wanting to get married and thinking about that too, with this 6 equals love and this legal matter. For some of you, maybe there's divorce in your future as well, because we do have you cutting off some people in some cases. That can include a spouse or you know, somebody else with whom you've had a serious relationship, whether even if you weren't legally married, they're coming to an end. This can be an end to other legal woes. Some of you may have been mixed up in something, some kind of foolishness or whatever, and that's what's holding you back, and that's coming to an end too. Maybe some of you needing for your record or something to be cleaned up. This just came into my head too, and you've been waiting for it. It was delayed. Why can't I, you know, get this taken care of? It's holding me back from getting that job I wanted. It's finally happening now. Feminine, we still don't have a plan. We started the reading without a plan. We still don't have one. this guides us to get to thinking. And maybe for some plans that we have enacted but never completed, it's time to finish those. From the angels to the masculine, awakening with Archangel Gabriel, and you got another 3 here. So another third energy possibly involved, maybe a love triangle, not necessarily, could be any third energy as we've been talking about the whole time. Whatever the case is for you on an individual level, look at things from a different perspective. Okay, you're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself, your true, authentic self while you go through this process. So this is not the time to be faking moves, because you do that, then you make decisions or changes in your life based on, something that's fraudulent. Okay, so that doesn't serve anybody. That's not the higher good. Your true, authentic self based on your true, authentic emotions, masculine. Awakening, or the hanged man. I mentioned in the beginning, some of us may find ourselves in limbo, not knowing what to do about, not being able to come to a decision about anything during this 2 weeks, it sounds, between the full moon, the lunar eclipse, and Mercury retrograde. But we do, if we don't get to make the decision, we do have the opportunity either way to take the step back and to look at the bigger picture. And Raphael was passing in the background just now. His sirens, I don't know if you could hear him, but he just showed up, to aid in this healing here. The hangman represents the sign of Pisces, as does the moon. Or the water sign. It could be, a particular person in your life that is a water sign, and or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. And I paused for a minute because it was also coming in. This can be you. Again, tying into the emotions, right? Water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, all about love and emotion, basically. The angels to the feminine, the 4 of air, time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So this is connected very much so to this strategy in reverse, where we don't have a plan. It's time to get to thinking about one. We don't necessarily have to enact it right now. And it's possible that we shouldn't, based on some of the things that we've, read and seen in the cards and all that kind of stuff today. But when we do have one enacted, again, we need to finish it. It's time to, so if you need to take a break in order to rejuvenate and gather yourself so you can come back, fighting, come out punching, swinging, do that. From the butterflies to the masculine, healthcare change. Because our emotional health, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier, emotional health, spiritual health. She said to me, that she was having she just felt like her whole world was crumbling, basically. Everything was coming down around her. She's like, what should I do? I said, well, when we're physically ill, when we feel we're physically ill, we go to a doctor, or we try some sort of home remedy or something. We need to begin, all of us, the same practices where it comes to our spiritual and or emotional wellness, well-being. We need treatment when we feel ill in those areas, whether we go to somebody else who knows how to provide it, or we provide it to ourselves. We got to do it. We can't ignore these things. And this, I think, is taking me back to this emotions with the masculine, and the need to be authentic with the masculine. Because when you're fake, when you're fraudulent, when you have a mask on, when you're pretending and not, going for what you are eating yourself up inside. The butterflies to the feminine. Self-employment. This can be some of us, again, ending relationships. So all of a sudden we're on our own. Maybe we're not jumping right into a new relationship. Maybe we haven't met, our future partner or whatever. And we're going to be on our own. In other cases, yeah, that actual job that we had ended. But you know what? All my life, I've wanted to, and you fill in the blank. And it's time for self-employment. From the romance angels to the masculine, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. This is about being your authentic self as well. When you talk to your soulmate, keep it 100. And feminine, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. I hope that you guys enjoyed our full moon in Aquarius reading. Namaste, angels.